Hi guys, happy Thursday. Happy birthday to Aiden. Today is his 10th birthday, double digits, no going back, buddy. You're on your way forward now with the rest of us. I hope you're having a great day. I know it's not so nice out, but happy birthday to you. This is the ending. This is the follow-up to the ending of the story. So this is a pretty good follow-up. There'll be no questions today, so I'm just going to read this really quickly, and then next week we'll move on to something new. Okay, here we go. On a cold, clear morning in December, at the end of the dirt road in a little town called Standish, a 12-and-a-half-year-old girl named Alice Mayfair stood in the sunshine, wrapped in her wool winter coat with her curly hair hanging loose against her back. She closed her eyes and listened to the wind sighing through the bare branches, the wavelets lapping at the lake's shore. In the distance, she thought she could hear the sounds of the Yar as they readied their village for winter. She could smell a dozen different things: wet leaves, wet leaf mulch, and the snow that would arrive that night. The curried lentils Kate had served for dinner and the braised tofu she was preparing for the community members who still would be there for lunch is what she could continue to smell. The freshly cut sod the Yar could use to reinforce the walls of their dugout houses, split logs, maple syrup boiling in the iron kettle over the open flame. These are all the smells that she can smell as she stood there. Millie hadn't brought Alice back to the village, not yet, but she had visited Alice at the center every day. Together, the girls had been making plans, writing lists of what Alice would bring back from New York City, and discussing how Millie could visit the No-Fur world and maybe even try out for the next stage. For the first time in a long time, Alice was excited to go home. It didn't matter that her parents would ignore her, rushing through their apartment, packing up all their stuff to go to St. Bart's. She wouldn't be ashamed when Felicia rolled her eyes, complaining that Alice had grown out of yet another swimsuit, or wondering out loud how it was possible to gain weight while eating mostly vegetarian food. Alice had a friend, maybe even friends, plural. She had Tally and Raya and exchanged gifts the night before with all of them. Alice had even gave the other girl jars of lavender honey that Kate had helped her make. Tally had given her a braided friendship bracelet, and Raya had given her a hand-drawn gift certificate for fencing lessons. In the quiet of the cold morning, she could hear the rumble of Lee's car as it turned off the main road, and the sound of someone running, breathing hard, crunching over frozen leaves and dead branches coming through the forest. She turned and saw Jeremy Bigelow, the Bigfoot hunter, the boy who organized the rally by the lake and put her picture in the newspaper. Just as he stepped out of the woods, Alice squared her shoulders and planted her feet in the dirt, making herself as big and imposing as she could, wishing she had fur that could bristle. "What do you want?" Jeremy was wearing a bright blue down jacket that was too big on him and jeans that were slightly too short. His cheeks were pink, and his exhalations came in misty puffs. He bent, catching his breath, and straightened up. "I need to tell you something." Alice stood silently waiting. "But I need to apologize too," said Jeremy. "I know you don't have any reason to believe me, but I wasn't trying to make trouble for you. You got a mob to chase after me and call me a freak with 3 different television stations filming the entire thing," Alice pointed out. Jeremy ducked his head and looked very ashamed. Alice half expected him to turn on his heel and vanish back into the woods, but he didn't. "I know, and I'm really sorry," he said. "I didn't think things would turn out that way, but that isn't what I have to tell you." He shifted from one foot to the other, stalling, Alice thought. "The night we had the rally, when you were running, when we thought you were a Bigfoot," Alice says. Jeremy gave a nod. "Before then, I found some of your cousin's hair, and I guess a strand of your hair was mixed up in it. And then, when you were running, you must have scraped yourself on a stick my friend Joe found on the way over." Alice wondered if Joe was the girl in the wheelchair, if she had been put on the clue gathering duty because she couldn't keep up with the mob. "Joe is super smart, and she's hooked into the entire network of people who investigate the paranormal. One of her friends works at a lab in California, and we sent all of the stuff we found to him, your hair and the blood. Alice shrugged, deliberately looking past the boy towards the gate. A white van cruised slowly along the road that ran parallel to the center's dirt path. Still, no Lee. So what's the point? She asked. Instead of answering, Jeremy pulled a sheet of paper out of his pocket. Joe's friend at the lab did a whole analysis, and in the quiet, she could hear the click of his throat as he swallowed. Gary, the guy at the lab, he didn't know what it was. He just knew it wasn't like anything he'd ever seen. For a long moment, Alice stood frozen in place. Her tongue felt stiff and her lips and her entire face felt numb. She felt shocked, except for a small part of her that wasn't shocked or even surprised. A small part, it seemed, had been waiting for the news that she had known all along, and she kind of knew what was coming. What? She said, remembering a joke someone made about her at Miss Pratt's. Is my blood type chocolate? She says to him. The Blacktown car turned the corner, its windshield catching the sun as it came bouncing up the dirt road. Alley cat! Called Lee through the open window. Merry Christmas! Gary didn't know what the samples were, said Jeremy. All he knew for sure is that they weren't human. Alice just stared. Jeremy talked faster. And listen, the thing you need to know is that there are people from the government. They knew that Joe and I were looking what we were looking for, and they're probably looking too. I think they were at the rally, and I think that they know about. He waved his hand to encompass the center, and Alice and the lake, and maybe even the Yar encampment miles across the water. All of this. He gave Alice a steady look as Alice wondered how much she knew. I came here to warn you. You need to be careful. But what am I? She says to Jeremy. As Lee got out of the car in his black jacket and black cap and started loading her luggage into the trunk, Jeremy didn't answer. Alice stood there frozen in place, watching as he melted back into the woods and disappeared. So what do you think that she is, ladies and gentlemen? So the mystery continues. I'll see if I can get the next book. I'm not sure if I can. If I can't get it right away, maybe I'll order it from Amazon, but everything is taking a long time. But I liked it. It was a good book. It was a good fantasy book. I enjoyed it, so maybe we can continue it. Tomorrow is just a read-only day. I will be reading a book to you guys. There's going to be nothing assigned for tomorrow. So have a great day. And I will see you soon. And happy birthday again to Aiden. Enjoy your day, buddy. Bye.